Hello everybody, it's Crystal from Coffee, Crochet, and Cuddles with Blizzard co-hosting. Tonight, working on a hat. Blue hat for a hashtag Hat Not Hate Lion Brand's anti-bullying campaign. And I am working from a written pattern. So, I'm not sure if I can show the pattern. It's a free pattern on Premier's website. I'll link it down below. Let me tell you what it's called. It's called the Spiral Shell Hat. It's an intermediate level. Now, totally blown my mind that I'm working on this hat because I just finished the first ever crochet hat from a written pattern by them for the Mega Tweed yarn. And that was an easy pattern, so I didn't even pay attention to that. I just thought it was a pretty pattern. Now, let's see. When I made a mistake when I first started. Well, first of all, I didn't read the name of the pattern, so obviously it's spiraling. So I was like, I had gotten to round number 3, which calls for front post double crochet, lining up with all the front post doubles, and then a double crochet in the space between the front post and the regular double crochet. I'm like, well, that's odd. Why don't you just put it in the stitch? So I just was going along, blip, blip, blip. And then round number 4 calls for front post double crochet in the front post double crochet. And another one, you're doing the same thing. I'm like, well, that's just weird. Not even realizing what they were the effect that they were trying to go for. So then when I got to rounds 5 and 6, I read it as chain 2, front post double crochet in front post double crochet 2 in between front post double crochet and double crochet. But I missed something the first time around. I missed the word space. So in round 5 and 6, let's see if I can bring it up close to you. Here's the 2 double crochets right there. Can't quite see. And that goes right next to your post, front post double, and in this space right here before the next double crochet. And that's basically what that's doing. It's pulling your stitches to the side. So, for example, I'm going to do my front post double crochet right here. And then it called for going into the space, not working into the stitch. And it called for 2 double crochets at that point in the round. And I missed that part. I says, well, okay, I'll put one on this side of the double crochet and one on that side of the double crochet, not realizing they were trying to create a shell stitch. So, just a little heads up, I had to pull it out. There's nothing wrong with frogging. We all make mistakes. We all have to do it. When I realized there was a difference, there was a reason why they were trying to make you put the 2 double crochets in the space right next to the front post double crochet. And I corrected it. I went on. I read the pattern more carefully. And then what confused me is I saw the word NDC, so I thought, wait a minute, where am I putting the double crochet? No, it was just part of that whole set of instructions that they had already had. So this yarn is, let's see, I'll get my ball band here. Premier Deborah Norville Every Day. And this one is their anti-pilling. And it's in the color, oh man, I don't want to butcher it, Azure, which is just a fancy word for blue. Fancy word for blue, people. It's 100, what's the yardage? 203 yards in this one ball. The pattern from Premier calls for 206 yards. Or, no, sorry. 260 yards. They're using it with a candy shop yarn. So I'm hoping I won't need to do anything to it. If I do, maybe I have some scrap that I can just tie in and border it. Because they did say all your hat has to be is the majority of it blue. So, if it's a different color, like if I have to trim it in white, or I have some white that I can tie on and no problem. But yeah, I've never worked on a spiral pattern like this before, so that's where my mind was confusing myself, going, well, why does it matter where I put those 2 double crochets? Well, it did matter. So, that's the only little snag that I've run into now. So, rounds 5 and 6 were the same with 2 double crochets in the space. Then the 7, 8, and 9 were 3 double crochets in that same space. So basically, they have just made the shell bigger. They increased the shell in that one. And now I'm on rounds 10 through 16, which is that front post double crochet, and then 4 double crochets in that very first space. So they've increased the shell again one more time. So I'm hoping that helps out a little bit. I'll take a picture of those instructions, and like I said, it's a free pattern. I'm not trying to copyright, infringe, or anything like that. It's Premier Yarns. It is their spiral shell hat by the Premier Yarns design team. I just want to show somebody that's not read a pattern before where you might make that mistake that I made, because I'm not good at reading patterns either. That's my goal, is to try to take myself, who I consider a poor pattern reader, and show you where I make my mistakes. And can I figure out where I made the mistakes and walk it back and correct it? And hopefully we'll learn together. So I got 1 piece of Happy Meal today, so let me go get that, and then we'll say goodnight. And if I come back on it, it will just be because I found another little thing in this pattern that I want to show or bring up. So let me go get my Happy Meal. I'll be right back. Excuse me, itchy nose. All right. So yay, I believe this is a holiday card from a fellow YouTuber. Her crochet channel is Natalie's Closet, I believe this is from. Let's see. Oh, how pretty. This looks handmade. Merry Christmas. Oh, very pretty. And a festive new year. Dear Crystal, wishing you a happy, healthy, prosperous new year. Thanks for all you do for your online family. Yarny hugs, Natalie with Natalie's Closet. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate the Christmas card. I didn't get too many this year. I don't even think I got any, maybe 1 or 2 from family members. So this is a very nice, generous thing that you've given to me. It makes me smile. So, like I said, I'll take a picture of the pattern and the part that I got confused so you guys can see how it was written out. If I run into any other things with this pattern, I'll come back on. I'll add the portion where I'll talk you through my mistake and how I went back, and because we all frog things. We're all ripping them out when we make a mistake if we catch it in time. So again, this is Crystal from Coffee, Crochet, and Cuddles, coming to you with how I'm trying to take you on a journey how to read patterns, even if you don't feel like you know how to read them. And I felt the same way. So we'll talk to you later. Bye. All right, everybody. Here is, I didn't weave in my N, but here is the hat. Just didn't weave in my N. Could have gone another round of the ribbing, but I didn't want the ribbing to overwhelm the pattern. So there's my ribbing, front post, back post. Blech, I hate back post. Okay, so, and I still have yarn left. So what does that tell me? It tells me I crochet tightly, which I already knew. And since I crochet tightly, I would have, if I make the pattern again in the future, I am going to do another round of the shells. So the shell row ended on row 16. So I will add another one. So that'll be row 17 for me. I have a big head. So I might go down a crochet hook like the pattern suggests you to do in the future, and just try it out and see how I like it. I didn't change the hook this time around because I know I crochet tightly, and it did gather some. It didn't gather a whole bunch, but it did gather some of that up, and that's why it fits my head. And like I said, I have a big head. Now, what circumference is this? I don't know. There's a point, but so that fits. Like I said, I would do another round of the shell for round 17. Then switch hook sizes. Go your single crochet round. Then go your double. And then start your front post, back post. So your brim is going to be a little bit smaller, because I did another extra round of brim anyways to bring it down to this, so that it covers just a little bit of my ears. It doesn't even cover all my ears. It's just a little bit. But yeah, that was my second successful pattern read. And that was a free pattern by Premier. And I will take a photo of that pattern. And I talked about the little idiosyncrasies within the pattern. In fact, here, hold on. I'll just flip it around. Okay. So the wording that confused me in this pattern by Premier Yarns was round 5 and 6 is where when I first read it through, I missed this part. Double crochet 2 in first space between front post double crochet and double crochet. When I first read it, I missed that vital part in first space. So when I did it, I just put double crochet. Then I went and I skipped over this double crochet that they're talking about, and then I put another double crochet thinking that was my 2 double crochets. So yeah, that was it. And that's what it looks like on her. Now see, they said they used one ball, 260 yards of Candy Shop yarn. That's how I know I crochet tightly. I did use my 6mm hook like they recommended, because that's what they tell you to do, is to start with a larger hook. And they go down to a 5. So I think for the next time that I do this pattern, like I said, I'm going to do one more round of shells. So instead of ending at 16, I'll go 17. I'll do one more round. Then I'll change my hook. I'll do a 5.5. I'll drop it down a 0.5 millimeter. Then I'll do the next set and see how that works out. There's all your abbreviations. So that was the only special stitch, was the shell. They didn't even give you any information. They're just telling you that your shell starts with 2 double crochets together, 3 double crochets, not together, sorry, that's a decrease, but just 2 in one space, 3 in one space, and then 4 in one space. Those are your shells. That's how you get that shell pattern. So that was an intermediate pattern by Premier that I just did, even though I said that I can't read patterns. So it's not that you can't, and I thought the same way. It's just when you're reading a pattern, take it one step at a time. Just try. I just kind of, since I have a tablet, I just scroll down and I just do that. Round 1, boom. Adjustable ring, chain 3. That one counts as your double crochet. Then double crochet 13 more in the ring. Join with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 3. That adds up to 14 double crochets. So that's all you would want to do. You want to do one sentence, one round, one row at a time. Whoop, let me try to get that light. So everybody, I hope this little video helps some people out about how you take a pattern if you feel that you have a hard time reading them, and just take it one part at a time, because I felt the same way you guys did. Now this is only my second successful pattern read. Everything else I've ever crocheted, I've just done on the fly or through a video tutorial. So I'm gonna hopefully continue this. I'm only ever going to use free patterns, so that way I'm not going to upset anybody, and I'm going to link the free pattern that I use in the description box below. So this is Crystal signing off for tonight from Coffee, Crochet, and Cuddles. And remember to enjoy your coffee, enjoy your crochet, and as always, enjoy your cuddles. Have a good evening, everybody. Goodbye.